Hey, folks. Hey, guys. Quickly breaking news out of Indiana, Evansville Watch. We all have been looking at it. Possibly, and this is not confirmed, possibly a vehicle pursuit with a crash that may involve Casey White and Vicky White. It's all, unconfirmed at this time, live on Highway 41 and Birch Road in Evansville. I saw my good friend Brian Enton is on the scene. There's some footage that I could play for you guys. I think most of us have seen it, but it's again, it's alleged that Casey White, Vicky White were occupants of this vehicle. That he shot himself, and unknown of what his condition is, and that she has been taken into custody. Now, I don't know, again, if this is 100% true, but it looks like the FBI is there, the ATF, and I have some stuff from Evansville Watch that I could play, and I'm not sure if Josh has it queued up, but it's just basically this kind of footage here. That's okay. He's got it. So we're going to play that quickly, and that was from about it's not from too long ago, and they call it a standoff in North Vanderburgh County. So I think we're getting confirmation now over the wire that it is Casey White and Vicky White inside that vehicle that we're going to see. Josh, you could roll it. You could leave me on. You don't go full screen. And this is from on the scene in Indiana, folks.
Live on scene, Highway 41 and Birch Drive.
There you go. Okay, I'm on live now. All right, thanks. So this is not a live look-in, but this is from very recent past. This is not from 6 days ago. This is all happening today. This is all happening right now, folks. So it's a police chase with a crash, and with potentially Vicky White and Casey White in custody. Vehicle looks badly damaged. Brian Enton from News Nation is live on the scene, and he is tweeting live. So the news conference is going to be at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Indiana time. So I think it's Central time. Josh, you could pause the volume. You could just click off the volume. All right, guys. So what we're looking at is not live, but it was just in the recent past. This is alleged now Vicky White and Casey White in a vehicle. They were probably being tailed by the US Marshals. This is still in Indiana, folks. And the location of this, what you're watching here on the screen, with the location that you're watching here on the screen is, let me just get it quick. Before I, hold on a second. Give me 2 seconds. Just got a lot going on my phone here right now. So the location is Highway 41 and Birch Road in Evansville. So it's the same location as where the car wash is, same town, same, Evansville, Indiana. And allegedly they were inside some type of Motel 6 or some type of motel. And the U.S. Marshals pursued them, and they crashed the vehicle. And, there's kind of conversation of shots fired, that he shot himself. I don't have confirmation of that, but I would say that at 5 p.m. Indiana time, which is an hour behind Eastern, we could look for updates. Hold on, I'm just getting a phone call right now. Hello? Okay, gotcha. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so that is from a very reliable source, is telling me, Josh, you can put me back on now. Very reliable source just coming in and confirming with me. And again, I don't speak about this unless I really feel very confident. Very reliable source said that it was not him that shot himself. It was Vicky White, in fact, that shot herself. And this is all, again, just developing. Both are in custody. Both are alive. I don't know their condition. I don't know where she was shot and, where she shot herself. But this is what is coming in from very reliable source, folks. So I would like to, again, have everybody please, again, the news conference is going to happen shortly, in a short period of time. So let's again wait until the actual U.S. Marshals and whoever's going to conduct this press conference give you guys the information. But this is a little bit of inside information before it gets kind of leaked out. But it looks like the manhunt for Vicky White and Casey White has come to a conclusion here. Josh, you can let that roll back if you want, just a little bit more of that roll. You could take me off. I got just a couple more text messages to complete. Thank you, Josh. So what we're looking at is some footage from very recent past at the location, right live on the location of where this incident occurred. I'm actually going to share this with Ed Wallace because he is asking to join me. So I want to send this to Ed now. Ed, I'm gonna message it to you right now. I'm gonna actually email. So this developed really fast, and I got quite a bit of good inside information straight from sources. And again, all of this stuff is subject to change because it's coming, across a couple of different places. But I'm pretty confident that this information is good. And again, it looks like Vicky White, self-inflicted gunshot wound, and Casey White taken into custody. We kind of had it flipped around, but that is what we're looking at right now. It looks like we have a resolution to this horrific manhunt, if you will. So manhunt for Vicky and Casey is now over. I'm not going to show the press conference because I'm not going to show the press conference because I think that you guys should all watch it yourselves. You know what I mean? And again, I am just finishing up at my office, and I'm going to be driving home. So I'm going to be finishing up shortly.
I am just finishing up at my office.
Okay, I got to wait to add Ed because I got a little bit of echo there with him. He's listening to it on his secondary device. Ed, give me the thumbs up when you're ready to go.
Oh, hold on. Hello.
So, yep. All right.
All right, I'm here.
Ed Wallace. Let's
This is awesome. Awesome news.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm not trying to be ghoulish about her potentially having shot herself, but I'm just saying that they got caught in Indiana, not too far from the car wash, huh?
That's what it looks like, brother. That's what it looks like. And I'll when I get off the stream with you here, I will give you where I got the sources from a very, very reliable friend of ours that you and I both know. Mm-hmm. And again, the news conference is forthcoming. FBI, US Marshals were hot on the case, I guess since last Tuesday. It's almost 7 days ago when he was seen on this video. And, there was a lot of conflicting reports. There were people who were very up in arms, and I was mad myself when I heard about this car wash thing today. And why did it take this long for it to come out? They kind of probably held it close to the vest, and they said, you know what? We know where they are. We're not going to put it out there to the media, and we're going to watch and see what they're doing. And I think that's what occurred here. And then when they got in their car and the timing was right, they tried to take them down, and a pursuit ensued with a crash.
So they were at a Motel 6, and usually motels don't take cash anymore. You have to produce a credit card to get in there. I wonder if she was silly enough to use a legitimate credit card.
I don't know. I know that some of these smaller hotels, these 1-star, 2 stars, they do take cash, but very few of them do nowadays. But they ask you to leave, like if you're going to pay by cash, they ask you to pay double or like a substantial amount of money for in case there's incidentals or anything that happens to the room. So and we know that she had a large amount of cash available to her, and she probably left a ridiculous amount of a deposit and was able to probably pay cash. So yeah, I mean, listen, there's so many other places. There's the news conferences, I think, is being showed live right now. Josh, I think people are sending me this, and I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like the sheriff is there. I want to play this, Josh. Can you find it? It's on Facebook. AL.com is live right now. So this is Sheriff Singleton. Yeah, so I wish I could go back on it, but I can't actually. I'm in my car. I'm just leaving my office. So I'm going to be driving home in a little bit. So I'm not going to really be able to stay live long for this. Ed, are you, you have
in the hotel.
a couple of, yeah. So could you take this as, if I start to drive, could you just run with whatever information I could give it to you, but I'm going to shut the camera off if I'm going to be driving. I'm going to pay attention to the road. But yeah, Josh, would you be able to get that press conference? It's on Facebook, al.com. And I think that they're not on Facebook. You can get them if you go on the internet. I'm hoping Josh is still here and that he could maybe bring that up. But we'll see. So this is a lot of information, and again, this will change quite a bit as it goes on. We'll get more information, but it looks like, as it stands now, the hunt is over, and these two are in custody.
I got it on. I'm playing it right now on JBL. Do you want me to share it?
Yeah, I think, is this Josh doing it or is this you doing it?
Well, I mean, I can do it if you want me to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that Josh?
Yeah, that's Josh. He's in the back. He's in the back room trying to get things done. But yeah, so it looks like there's multiple people sharing. Okay, so let's take a look and listen to this.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Can you hear it and see it?
Okay, and listen, everybody, real quick. Because of the sensitivity of this and the ongoing investigation, we won't get real deep into the details of what has happened so far. We're going to get as much as we can. But tomorrow, we're going to hold a news conference once we get more information together and have more detailed and accurate information. But we have plenty to give you tonight. So I'll probably refrain from taking too many questions after this. But
That's right. Sheriff Whitty has just stepped up to brief the media. He just arrived to the media staging area.
Okay. So today, the Vanderbilt County Sheriff's Office and the U.S. Marshals, Fugitive Task Force, and even members of the Marshal Task Force from Alabama, Mississippi, and we have Marshal Stillwell here, inspector from the Marshal Service. They were here because a vehicle had been located in Evans almost a week ago that appeared to be related to the Alabama escapee and Sheriff's Office employee that had fled the area. As we were working on this today, we gained information that a vehicle matching the description of a suspect vehicle was near our Sheriff's Office. So the U.S. Marshals Task Force and Deputy Sheriffs went to the area. Soon thereafter, the male and female fled in a vehicle on Highway 41 northbound, went past Highway 57. As you can see, they turned here on Birch Park Drive. They came through this grassy area. The Marshals Task Force officers intercepted them, actually collided with them to try to end the pursuit. When this occurred, the female driver of the vehicle shot herself, and the passenger was injured, not too seriously. They both been taken to local hospitals to be examined for their injuries.
There you have it.
Her injuries are very serious. I don't know the true extent, but I want to commend the Marshals Task Force for being here and working diligently with the Vanderbilt County Sheriff's Office to put two bad people and get them off the street.
Are these the Whites from Alabama?
Yes, they are. It is.
Yeah. She's still alive.
She's still alive.
His condition?
What's that?
His condition?
He seems to be okay. She's in pretty serious shape.
Do you know where she was shot?
I don't know where she was shot, but it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Do you know where the pursuit first took place and where?
It was Highway 41 south of St. George Road is where the pursuit initiated.
Any indication on how long they've been in Evansville?
We can't clarify that at this time until we speak to him. We know the vehicle that was recovered had a date of May the 3rd. It's hard to believe that they've been here that many days, but we were lucky that we stumbled upon them today.
Yeah, the car wash surveillance photos were from the 3rd. It's only speculation, of course, at this point, but why would people on the run stay in Evansville for 6 days?
Well, they're criminals. Sometimes they do things that are unexplainable. But in this case, I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
How did law enforcement catch eyes on them? Was somebody call them in, or did law enforcement just catch them?
A member of the Evansville Police Department observed the vehicle and thought that it could have matched the description of the vehicle that we've been looking for, and that's what we went to investigate.
So the vehicle that's found at the car wash, was that impounded? The blue Ford?
Yes.
Okay. So
They changed vehicles.
Yeah, you guys got remember media on.
they changed vehicle to a Cadillac?
Okay, is anybody here?
Was it a Cadillac that was eventually stopped in the crash?
No, as you can see, it was this vehicle it looked like a truck, wasn't it? Was it a truck?
Oh, it's a Cadillac.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. It is a Cadillac. That was stop. I'm sorry. I didn't see it.
So now they had 3
If I could come up
vehicles?
and speak?
Yeah. It was.
We'll just let the
Yes.
sheriff
Okay.
for now, and we plan on doing a press
Can you
conference.
talk about the cooperation between the various law enforcement agencies to get this done?
Yeah, well, probably one of the best federal agencies that we work with is U.S. Marshals Task Force.
Bingo.
They do a very good job. They supply a lot of resources and personnel to us. And when we have serious crime that needs to be addressed, we can usually handle it through the Marshals Task Force in our office. And the state police is involved in that, and Nevada Police as well. So it's a very good multi-member law enforcement agency.
When they responded initially to whenever this crash happened?
Very short period of time. From the time we initiate the pursuit until the time it ended was less than a few minutes.
I think there were other accomplices that did it.
Well, I'm sorry. We don't. So.
With this, obviously, this has been national news. Has there been other ways that you guys have prepared for this? Were you guys expecting? I'm sure you guys weren't.
Well, anytime you have people that are on the run, you're notified and you're keeping a watchful eye on any suspicious activity, suspicious vehicles. In this particular case, one of the suspects being 6'9", that's good for us because he wasn't a normal sized human being. So it was an easy target for us.
Whenever criminals are on the run, even we in the media, even the regular Joe citizen wonders, I wonder if they come our way. When did you first get the indication that they might be coming our way?
Well, after the vehicle was located a while back, we at least knew they may have been in our area, but I couldn't believe that they had remained here.
Did they resist at any point when they were when the car did?
Oh no! Once the accident occurred, that they no resistance.
How long from the time that vehicle was found at the car wash until it was determined that was probably their vehicle? How long?
I don't know the time frame that they developed the lead. That was probably related.
Sheriff Wedding.
What's that? Just one so far, but we haven't really looked through the vehicle yet. We're going to get a search warrant for the vehicle, and we'll examine it later on this evening.
Sheriff Wedding, there were previous reports. I'm with 44
Okay, yeah.
on the other end of the camera. Sorry. There were previous reports from Casey White saying, he was ready to go all out. He was even, asking for law enforcement to shoot him. Are you surprised that it was Vicky White who pulled the trigger?
Well, once again, with criminals and criminal minds, they're very unpredictable. We don't take anything they say with any merit. That they can change on a dime, and this was a perfect example of that.
You said that it was Casey who was driving.
But it was the female who was driving. Yes. The main thing is we're lucky that no law enforcement was injured, no innocent civilians were injured. The pursuit was short in nature, and we have both people in custody.
Outstanding job. Outstanding job.
All right.
All right, everyone's a watch. Thank you for tuning in. That was Sheriff Vanderbilt County remarking on the incident. I'm going to reposition this camera here to watch the tow truck for you guys.
Let's just
Really
see. Let's just see
appreciate
this look here.
you guys tuning in. Just a moment while we get positioned.
6 days in a Motel 6 in this town, right? Is that what I'm hearing? That's
Yes.
insane. That is
Yep.
insane.
They were able to coexist in that town for 6 days.
With all this national publicity,
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little research on that background of that area and see what kind of an area it is. Josh, you could pause the. You could just mute the sound. Yeah, Ed. So surprising and shocking for me when I heard today that the video from the car wash was being held for 6 days. It blew. I blew a gasket. I went crazy when I heard that. I was like, "What? Are you kidding me?" Now they have a 6 day jump But again, my my sources, my Josh, if you could just mute the volume.
There we go.
Josh might have walked away. Okay, he's got it now. Thank you, Josh. So my sources, Ed, were right on the money, and it was coming straight from the U.S. Marshals office. So I for those of you who know me here, for those of you who know Ed Wallace, Crime Time with DutyRon, myself, I will never speak. You'll never hear me speak about what I just spoke about before you guys heard that confirmation from the sheriff. But I was so sure that the source that I had was and is valid. I knew it was coming directly from my U.S. Marshals Task Force contact. And for me, I was able to speak on it because I got the green light from that person. So at the end of the day, she shot herself. A short chase ensued. Looks like a Cadillac vehicle in a ravine. Both perpetrators are in custody and alive. Ed, some of your thoughts.
Well, I'm happy that it's over, and that they're caught. And it appears that no other individuals were hurt other than themselves, and that's always a good thing. Bad guys caught, bad guys going back to jail. She shot herself, unfortunately. Let's see if she survives, and we can then charge her and bring her to trial if she survives. Either way, they're off the streets. Okay, Twyla wants to join us here.
Let her join.
I don't have. I got to send.
I'll send it to her. I'll send it to her.
But you're driving, right? You're driving, or you stopped?
No, I'm still stopped.
Okay. All right.
I'll text her the link.
Yeah, so, six days in a motel in this town in Indiana, and with all the national publicity, it's like, and now nobody. I mean, he was clearly walking around in the car wash and doing other things. They acquired another vehicle now. They had the truck. They have the Cadillac. Going in and out of the Motel 6, and nobody watches the news in this town.
But kudos to the U.S. Marshals. Maybe they wanted to keep it quiet and they knew about it. But the information that I read from Brian Enton, he interviewed the car wash manager, and the car wash manager said that they came in at 4:00 in the afternoon last Tuesday, a week ago almost, and that when they called the police, when they abandoned the other pickup truck, it looked like a late model Silverado. It was a silver pickup truck with a bed in the back. He said the police didn't take them seriously, the manager, and they never came for the car. He had to call a private tow company, again, just like the first vehicle. They had to have it privately towed out of there because the police didn't respond. And that's coming from Brian Enton at News Nation. So I fully believe that he interviewed that guy and that's what he said. So that got my blood boiling, because now here we are 6 days later, we're in the same situation that we were in with the first debacle. So for me, it really upset me. But then as this additional breaking news came over the wire that they it led me to believe that the U.S. Marshals were surveilling them a short time after Tuesday last week, all of this time, and we're waiting for the right moment, because they don't just act quickly, Ed. These guys are patient. So I think they might have waited until it was the most safe way to take them down, instead of, we're not looking at a wild shootout and people in the public in danger, and you know what I mean? So
yeah, I could understand that, if they were in the hotel and you want to make sure they're separated from those weapons, and so you wait to the most opportune time. Maybe, who knows, maybe they had surveillance inside the hotel, and
right.
To figure out where those weapons were so that they didn't have to engage them. But obviously she had a weapon on her. She shot herself in the car after the accident. It's going to be interesting. I'd like to see all the dynamics about how they purchased all these cars. I know one of them was stolen, but this Cadillac, now that's new. Let's get some information on that.
Yeah. So I'm rolling now, Ed. So you're gonna have to take over this. And Josh, if there's any other media that we have on this, or if there's anything additional that you guys think could be played, I just shared the link with Twyla. So if she comes in, maybe you could just take over with her for a little bit and see what she's got to say. I know Twyla's gonna have a ton to say. I can tell you that right now.
Yes, there was an accident. People in the chat are talking. Yes, there was an accident after a pursuit.
The vehicle's still up on the page. I think in this
No,
video.
it's there. We're seeing it live. It's in the right hand corner there. It was just flipped back over right side on its wheels by the tow truck.
Right.
And you see the driver's doors all mangled, and it looks like the whole driver's side looked like somebody T-boned it actually, but I guess they hit a tree that way, kind of T-boned into a tree.
Hey, Josh, could you play that news conference back? Would you be able to rewind back to the beginning of it? Is there any way that you could do that? Because if you could, that would be helpful. And for those of you who are new and just joining, please consider subscribing to Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace, where you can get the most factual-based breaking news and police perspective. We give you these cases from our police perspective. Ed spent over 25 years in the NYPD. I was 20 years. I was in the fugitive enforcement. He was in crime scene. So you're getting from an investigator's perspective and bird's eye view by subscribing to Crime Time with DutyRon. So we're going to try to queue up the presser from the beginning and give it to you guys again so you can hear the sheriff. He doesn't really speak long.
Can you back up what we just saw there? It looks like a sheriff was putting a long gun in a pickup truck.
Josh will do it.
Nikita, the sheriff during his press conference said she shot herself. He didn't shoot her. He's clearly stated she shot herself.
Right. What I anticipate happening is that he drove into that ravine, had the accident, and he might have been passed out or knocked unconscious. And she was like, "Oh, screw this! I'm not getting taken in," and she tried to end her own life. But now she's in custody. He's in custody. They're both alive, and they'll have to face the music. This, to me, is the best case scenario. Nobody was hurt other than the two perpetrators, and we don't know how badly he was hurt. No civilians hurt. No police officers hurt, or anybody involved in this investigation. No EMS. No emergency medical people. No innocent person driving in a car was hurt. This is the God blessed best possible outcome. Wouldn't you agree, Ed?
Yeah, absolutely. It's I always say, when no innocent victims are hurt in the capture of clearly two armed and dangerous individuals, that's a good day. That's a blue light special. It's a buy one get one free.
Absolutely, and for law enforcement and for the general public, this is a win. This is a win. Captured two bad guys, back in custody, face the music, rotten to sell. I mean, here's the next story. How long is she going to get? Like, is she going to be like Toby and placed in 27 months in lockup? First-time offender, but corrections professional, I think.
Let's see if she survives. The sheriff said she was in really bad shape.
Right. Well, I'm banking on that she does survive. Let's just go with that scenario, Ed. She survives. What are we looking at here?
We're looking at her facing multiple felonies and some serious time. Let's see what kind of defense they pull up.
Yeah. We got to take this one step at a time. And like you said, the sheriff said she was in bad shape. Josh, could you roll that presser from the beginning? So for the new folks, they can hear it and go full screen on it. Thank you. Josh is the best.
So did they T-bone that car?
Looks like it. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's either they got T-boned or somebody else hit them.
Let's look for some other police vehicles there. Maybe the front damage.
Josh, could you make that full screen?
Looks like there's some damage on that Toyota or that Ram. What is that, a Ram or a Toyota? Yeah, it looks like it got a steel bumper, and it looks like it's all damaged. Maybe that pickup truck T-boned the side of that.
That's what I'm thinking, and that could be a U.S. Marshals vehicle, Ed. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
when we work with those guys, I mean, one of the guys I was with had a BMW. You know, so and they used to park their cars over at Creedmoor State Hospital over in Queens. So they would park their cars there and then pick them up and then go. And some of them had the take-home cars, but it was just all different vehicles. You know, Toyota Camrys. I would imagine in the you know, in the middle of the country, pickup trucks. You know, that just fits right in. So they're gonna have them. But this could be a good Samaritan. This could be a citizen that said, "Hey, the police are chasing this car. I want to take them out." I mean, that's balls of steel right there. I wouldn't be crashing up my nice new car, but
yeah, look,
it looks like
he's moving the wheels, and he's got a big steel bumper with a push guard. That's not the stock front bumper.
Right. Or it could be a tow guy that was listening to the scanner. Remember those tow chase guys that used to come to all our accident scenes? So this could be a local wrecker, you know, tow wrecker guy.
I don't know. That's a custom car. I don't think that's a G. I don't think that's a G ride.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm not. Again, I'm at a red light, so I'm able to look better now.
Yeah.
So when the presser starts, Josh, if you could put that into put that in with volume. So private chat, finding another video. This one is live. Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Josh. Josh is always thinking. That's what I like about him.
Being here, before we get started, I wanted to introduce Sergeant Shane Keaton to you. I know
this is Sheriff
he's been
from
your point of
Lauderdale,
contact for
guys.
the last several days, and we appreciate all the hard work he's put in. He's had a very difficult job. Our district attorney, Chris Conley,
Sheriff
is joining me.
Singleton from Lauderdale
And
County.
this is the
right,
press conference that we've been talking about all week that we wanted to call. Casey White and Vicky White are in custody. There was a pursuit this afternoon in Evansville, Indiana. Evansville, Indiana is about 219 miles from here. The U.S. Marshals were in pursuit of a black Ford pickup. I think it was a F-Ford 150. And Casey White was driving that vehicle. Vicky White was a passenger.
Ed, am I scratching my head here?
Yeah, me too. Where'd the Ford come from?
White surrendered. Vicky White has been transported to the hospital for treatment. So this has ended a very long and stressful and challenging week and a half. It ended the way that we knew it would. They are in custody. What I'm very thankful for tonight is that no one was hurt. No citizens were hurt. No law enforcement officers were hurt as a result of this escape.
Oh my God!
Casey White is now back in custody, and I cannot express enough
this just
to
blows
the
my
U.S.
mind.
Marshals Fugitive Task Force for the assistance they've been in this. Their agents are actually the ones that were involved in the pursuit. And my team of investigators who worked diligently alongside the U.S. Marshals Task Force, all the other partners and players in this, the least of which is not the media. You guys have made this happen. You've kept this story out there. You've kept it on everybody's mind.
He's right about that.
Tips, what led us to the arrest and the capture of them today was a tip that came from citizens. And they call those tips in because of the coverage y'all have provided us. You don't know how much I personally appreciate the way y'all have helped us in this case.
I don't know how much of this we can believe.
Off the street today. He is never going to see the light of day again. And, that's a good thing for not just our community, but that's a good thing for this country. So thank you very much for your help. I'll be glad to take a few questions.
What's the nature of Vicky White's?
Don't know. Just know she's been transported to the hospital for treatment. There was a wreck. I don't know if the wounds are related to the wreck or not. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
So he doesn't even know she shot herself. I'm
sorry.
I
yes, I think so. That Ford F-150.
What Ford F-150?
Evansville, Indiana. Why there?
It's a
Don't
freaking
know
Cadillac.
well, if anything particular drew him to that town, but that's where we got the latest tip, which came in late last night, I think, or
I feel like
last
I'm in the
night.
Twilight Zone.
Followed up on it
Oh.
first thing this morning, and they were able to.
I want to
get
just
some
drive my
leads
car
there,
into the river
and,
here.
It led to their capture.
Where exactly did the chase start?
Where did the chase start? I'm not sure. My understanding is that they had located them at a hotel.
I
And,
have that
they
information.
ran,
Highway
spotted
41.
them, ran, and the pursuit ensued.
Sheriff, we spoke.
Hey, it's time for the community in that community to get a new sheriff. Oh my
to
God.
some of
the folks that called that tip in.
I have that information. Highway 41 and Birch Road, Sheriff. Highway 41 and Birch Road.
On Tuesday about that abandoned truck, and that it's taken several days for all the tips coming in to be able to get through those, get down the list. Was there something last night that changed your idea about why it might actually be a real sighting of Casey White, Vicky White?
No, I'm not aware of the earlier tip.
Sheriff, when will they be brought back here?
Not sure. They'll have to
Gotta
be
be extradited.
extradited if they don't waive extradition. That can take some time. Of course, court proceedings involved in that. Over here, I heard someone over here.
They're going to waive.
Will they actually be brought back here, or
Yes.
their connection is it just too deep to?
No, they will be brought here. He has to be brought back here, and she does, to face arraignment on the new charges. He is charged with escape.
He better not be
has
brought back to that
multiple
jail.
charges on her now. They will have to be brought back here for arraignment. We've already made arrangements with the Department of Corrections. He will be brought here for arraignment. If it's 2 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't matter. The judge has agreed to come out. He will be arraigned and immediately transferred to the Department of Corrections.
Are you concerned about Vicky White coming back to this detention center since she worked here?
She will not be long. She will not be confined in this detention center.
Sheriff,
I don't think anybody should be confined there.
I hope she survives this. I don't know the extent of her injuries. I hope she survives it. We don't
I
wish
agree.
any ill will on Vicky in terms of her health or her well-being, but she has
Sheriff.
some answers to give us, and
Yeah, she's got
hopefully we'll have the
splaining.
opportunity to get those answers.
She's got some splaining.
Not that I'm aware of. I think it was just a pursuit. They wrecked and they were taken into custody. I understand he surrendered.
Were they found with any guns or?
I haven't got that information. I'm not sure.
How was she injured?
Don't know. I
Oh
don't
my
know
God.
if it's a result of
All right.
wreck or-
Oh,
Go back to the live.
I know.
yeah. Holy cow.
Wow. You don't give a press conference when you don't know all these facts. I'm sorry. This is just totally unprofessional.
It's just blowing my mind, Ed. I'm just mind blown. Josh, what do we got here? What are we looking on the screen? Oh, okay. Ed, again, the main results is that Vicky White and Casey White are brought into custody. She shot herself. The sheriff doesn't have updated information like we do. It's unfortunate. It's sad. Again, I don't think anybody should be housed in that jail where they broke out of. Either one of them. It should be in a different facility that's definitely more secure, and that they have their ducks in order.
Yeah, without a doubt. And we're looking at a Ram, a Ram 1500, pickup truck, quad cab with front end damage. Okay, but that was different than the vehicle that we saw before that also had front end damage. So don't know what.
And we heard the sheriff say they were in a Cadillac vehicle.
Right, and it had flipped over.
Right, Josh, can you go back to that where the sheriff is speaking local? He seemed to have more valid information. This truck might have been what T-boned them.
I don't think
Again,
that was. I don't think that was.
pressure.
I don't think that was recorded. I think what Josh was telling us that it was a live broadcast, so it wasn't recorded.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But it's here. If you want to roll back and watch the sheriff from Evansville, Indiana, speak, he spoke well and he was clear and concise. He seemed like he knew. I mean, of course, he has the advantage. He's there on the scene, so he's got more valid information. And what we heard just 30 minutes ago here on the channel, I believe, is the most valid and accurate information. He said there'll be a extensive press conference tomorrow, right, Ed? Was that what I heard?
That's what he said. Yes.
So they'll have more live tomorrow. Guys, if you're not yet subscribed and you haven't given this a thumbs up, please consider hitting the thumbs up and hitting that little subscribe button. Ed Wallace and I are retired New York City police detectives. Consider subscribing.
That this car that we're looking at, that could be a U.S. Marshals car. The other car that we were looking at before that had front end damage, another pickup truck, that had
the brown one,
had a customized steel bumper that is aftermarket. It had customized rims and wheels. That is definitely not a government issued vehicle, and that also had front end damage. So, and then you can see like this Ram truck here. It's got law enforcement all over it. So I'm assuming that other Ram truck that we were seeing going by the other flatbed was probably a law enforcement vehicle.
Right. That's what I'm thinking too. That's what I'm thinking. All right. Josh sent something in the private chat, said he's trying to get more stuff. Again, breaking news. This is the best possible scenario that we could have hoped for, because it didn't involve anybody else getting hurt other than these two perpetrators. She hurt herself by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. We don't know the extent of her injuries. We don't know if she's like in New York here where Ed and I worked. If someone was shot and they were likely to die, it would be shot and likely. We don't have any of that information coming out of Indiana. She has a self-inflicted gunshot wound. At the press conference, they asked where. A news reporter asked some good questions. He said, "I don't know." So whether it was to the chest, to the head, that would make that would give us a little better idea of whether she is likely or not likely. And that means likely to die or not likely to die. I'm hoping that she survives her wounds, her self-inflicted wounds, and faces the music. And that's what the sheriff said here. And the sheriff, he's in another state, but it doesn't really mean that he shouldn't get the information that we're allowed to get and that we're able to get, and we have nothing to do with the investigation. So for me, again, it's just par for the cause. It's just right in line with all the missteps. Ed, what's your thoughts on that?
I'm like, doesn't he have a public information officer? I mean, isn't there somebody monitoring the media for this case to help get him the information? I mean, he just gets out there in front of his podium and he's spewing all this stuff, and it's not accurate. I mean, it's embarrassing.
On all levels. And again, I feel bad for the people of Lauderdale County, because this is an elected official, like you said, Ed. He's not running again. He's decided not to run again, and I kind of don't blame him. I wouldn't either.
Well, some people just don't know when to get out of the game.
Yeah, and you know what? In many careers, you don't come across this large of an national, international attention case. So, to his defense, he's probably never had anything on this, of this magnitude ever. And you don't want to have anything like this ever in your career.
Well,
what do you think, Ed?
You don't want to, but as a professional, you have to be prepared for it.
You got to be ready. You got to be ready for it. All right. I can put my camera back on because I'm now home where I got to be, and dinner is on the stove getting ready to be served. So I'm going to go in. MGTV says recap, please. Okay. So for those of you who are just joining, Ed Wallace and I are showing you pre-recorded footage from the scene in Indiana. Casey White, Vicky White in custody. Vicky White, it was a very short pursuit as per the sheriff there. A very short pursuit ensued from a hotel where they were holed up. The U.S. Marshals Service conducted the takedown. And as you can see, it looks like a Cadillac that has extensive damage to the driver's side. Vicky White, Casey White were taken into custody. She shot herself. We don't know where she shot herself. And Casey White, we don't know the extent of his injuries, whether it was from the accident or anything else. That's where we are at this time. Both are in custody. Conditions are unknown at this time. But let me say thank you to Coexist 2020 They were taken into custody at 10:30 a.m. That press conference was earlier today. Okay. Again, this was all breaking at this time. We're going to go by what time it is, and it looks like it's daylight there. So appreciate that information. If that was 10:30, they held it. But again, thank you so much for that bit of information. We rely on a lot of different sources. Pamela, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. I greatly appreciate it. Anything else, Ed, jumps out to you? Did I miss anything?
Well, it's an old Cadillac. That's not one of their new models. So that's got some years on it. And,
right.
Was this carjacked or was this another purchase? I'd like to get a little more detail on this Cadillac.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just want to tell you quickly, Evansville Crime Watch, that's the Evansville, Indiana Crime Watch for Facebook. The Crime Watch groups are very on to this stuff. It was just 54 minutes ago that they posted live video. So this is where Coexist, and Coexist, I appreciate that super chat. I appreciate that information. But again, Evansville Crime Watch, which is a local-based YouTube, Facebook group. They posted a live video 54 minutes ago showing all of these resources out at the scene. Now, could those resources, Ed, have been on the scene for all these hours leading up till now? Yeah, we've seen these crime scenes where they hold stuff for 5-6 hours. So that information could be very good, but we go based on what was breaking. And 54 minutes ago is when this story made it out to the general public. Brian Enton was at the car wash and reporting like it was nothing. Car wash, this, that, the other. But listen, we went on this. I got on the phone. We got to our U.S. Marshals source, and we had this breaking news before it broke. So it was pretty great. And I tip my cap to the men and women of the U.S. Marshals. Ed?
I'm getting several sources saying that she was operating the vehicle. Okay, but the sheriff in Alabama said he was operating the vehicle, and that he gave himself up. Well, he gave himself up after they flipped the vehicle, and and then she shot herself, and he came. It was after the pursuit, after they ended the pursuit.
Yeah, he was. Somebody said, did I hear right that she shot him? No, Ed, I know you just addressed that.
Yeah,
she shot herself.
She shot herself.
She didn't shoot him.
According to the sheriff in Indiana.
Right.
Okay.
Now, can this story change? Can we have her shooting herself and then Ricochet hitting him?
Well, he didn't seem to be, according to the sheriff, he had didn't have any serious injuries.
Serious injuries at all. So if you want to, guys, scroll back to this video, in I would say the midsection of it or earlier on, Josh was playing the actual presser from the Evansville, Indiana sheriff. So, take it for what it's worth, and it is what it is. Ed, I got to jump out of here because dinner is calling, and I know you got stuff to do.
Yeah, I'm going to bail as well.
We got 3,400 people in here. Thank you, everybody, for watching, for super chatting, for adding your input. Leave us a comment down below in the comment section. Let us know what you think of this coverage. Again, you heard it first from me that these two are in custody. I thank each and every one of you, the moderators, the replay viewers, everybody who becomes a channel member. Hit the subscribe button, right, Ed? It's free to do that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Just subscribe. And if there's any more information, you could bet your bottom dollar that Ed and I will be live tonight. We will bring you additional information, but look for something tomorrow from both Ed and I. Ed, what's your schedule like tomorrow?
Well, I'm out here in Salt Lake City, so I'll be training between 8 and 4, and be back at the hotel sometime after that.
Outstanding.
So, hey, folks, join our family. It's like our true crime family. We'll make you an offer you can't refuse.
Yes. And if listen, there's that 30-day money back guarantee, Ed, right? If after 30 days you subscribe and you don't like it, you could just simply unsubscribe. No shipping and handling fees, no restocking fees. It's all good. So I can't read that because it's too small. What does Coexist say in there?
What I meant was that the sheriff in Alabama's press conference was from earlier today, possibly before he had all the info. Okay, well,
Oh, okay. Maybe.
all
Yeah,
right.
it might be true. That might be true. But still, again, it is what it is. I like the guy. I got nothing against the guy.
Information is flying fast and furious, and you don't know what is real and what is not real. But I mean, there was definitely conflict between two different sheriffs. One from the town of the apprehension, and one that
I'm
was
up the block.
hundreds of miles away.
All right.
Oh, the boss is calling Ron.
Yeah, she's screaming at me, so I got to get in. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Peace.
Folks, stay
Thanks,
safe
Ed.
out there. All right, be prepared. Watch your six. Catch you tomorrow.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Peace.